important way in which I came into the Christian faith and ultimately Orthodox Christianity was as a young person growing up in an agnostic to atheist household, was reading the writings of JRR Tolkien and C.S. Lewis. And that was very important to me as a young person. I also read the Bible secretly because it wasn't really encouraged in our house. But I found something very engaging spiritually in those works. And of course I was not Orthodox. I didn't really know anything about Orthodox Christianity. That was a couple decades or more before I became Orthodox and was really exposed to Orthodoxy. Since then, much of my focus in study and teaching has been related to JRR Tolkien and C.S. Lewis. So both ways in which they express a certain Christian view of freedom, a certain Christian view of justice, a certain Christian view of nature and the environment in their works. And Tolkien, of course, was a conservative Catholic. However, he also was a scholar of the medieval who focused a great deal in his scholarship on the first millennium of Christianity and early Christian cultures and literatures from Wales, Ireland, Anglo-Saxon England, the Viking realms. As such, it seemed like much of his attention was in that first millennium, pre-schism period. So there's much that he's dealing with, many of the themes that he writes in his fictional writing that, for me, relates to a common shared heritage of Christianity going back to that time period. So it's not Orthodox writing, but at the same time it's very evocative of a Christian culture and a certain kind of mindset in story form. And of course, once I was older and I started reading Dostoevsky, who called his own novel writing fantasy realism, I was much more directly focused then into Orthodoxy, but I think reading Tolkien and Lewis as a young person helped prepare me in a lot of ways. And Lewis's writings, I'm particularly drawn to his science fiction trilogy in more recent years. Of course, I did read the Chronicles of Narnia when I was younger. But I think, for example, his description of Mad Hideous Strength of forces of totalitarianism and a kind of spiritual warfare with people of faith has some mythic parallels to things that we as Christians are experiencing in our culture today. And I think the kind of myth writing that Lewis and Tolkien did is something that symbolically brings out aspects of faith life for Christians and how we deal with the larger society. Father Seraphim Rose spoke about the importance of American converts getting some sort of emotional or affective sense of what a Christian spirit involved from literature and film, literature and film that was compatible in some sense with Christianity. Maybe not always explicitly Christian, but I think he referenced Charles Dickens, certain classic old movies that were moral in their approach, but also evocative of a culture in which Christianity shaped people's emotions and could help people connect with that, given that a lot of people today, and even in my generation, are growing up, or were growing up without that kind of connection to any kind of Christianity, whether heterodox or orthodox.
Did years burn out those words? Did a voice whisper absurd? Did your mind comprehend and ask if you'd last till the end?